Hey guys, it's Steph here again today, and today I am back with my 2018 reading stats and my 2019 reading goals. So let's start off first of all. I have my reading stats printed out right here. Let's start out first of all with my Goodreads reading goal. What did I meet it? How I felt about it? What I'm going to do next year. So my goal this year was 40 books. I ended up reading 45 books total. But one of those was a reread, so, you know. Actually, two of those were a reread. Let me rephrase that. So, technically, 43 books total that were new books. My favorite book, I would say, from last year, let me read through my little books here. I would have to say one of my favorite books from last year would have to be my friend Mary's book, Acelia. I loved that book. I loved all of her books, but that was probably one of my favorites. And my second favorite would probably have to be Lies My Girlfriend Told Me by Julianne Peters. I've not read anything of hers before, so it was like a really awesome, like, different read, because I haven't really read a lot of LGBT books. So, yeah, next up is, let me just do my year in books. So, the shortest book I read this year was Winter Wren, by Miranda Honfleur, I think is how you pronounce her name, coming in at 34 pages. That book was super fun to read. I actually read it and listened to it. Next up, my longest book that I read was The Chronicles of Narnia, because that was like the big book that I read at the beginning of the year. It was 766 pages. The average length of book that I read this year was 279 pages. The most popular book on Goodreads that I read this year was To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The least popular book I read was The Many Tubs of Tom by Mary Beth Moody. However, that's a popular book in my opinion, because it was written by one of my good friends. The highest rated book that I read this year was LGBTQA Pride, Real Stories from Real People by Mary Whitney. It was a 5-star average rating, because it's a fairly new book, and everybody that has read it has rated it 5 stars, I included. It was just really raw and awesome. My first review of the year was Rebel Belle. I got that for Christmas last year from Sarah, and I read it first thing. Let's see. And that is pretty much it for, like, my year in books. And then it just has, like, an in-depth thing of, like, all the books that I read. You know, things like that. So, my goals for this year, that's what we're looking at. So, my goals for this year is to read, what are they called? Anthologies, I think is what they're called. You know, like a book with a bunch of different stories by different authors. So, that is one of my goals for this year. I also would like to read, more outside of my comfort zone, so not quite just all YA. I am going to do 2 different reading challenges this year that I thought I would go over with you guys. So let me start with these. So first of all, this year I'm going to keep record of every book that I read on this little spreadsheet. I'm either going to do that or I'm going to do it for, like, get a journal and keep, like, a book journal. But I'm going to do 2 different challenges this year to try to read more books. Because my reading goal this year is 50 books. I figured if I read 45 last year, I should be able to read 50 this year. So let's hope. But I'm going to do the ABC reading challenge. So pretty much the idea of that book is that every letter of the alphabet, the book either needs to start with the letter of the alphabet, well, except for, like, X, Y, and Z, like the harder letters, like V, X, Y, and Z. The book has to start with, the title of the book has to start with the letter of the alphabet. However, if you have X, Y, and Z, V, things like that that are uncommon, as long as the title has that letter in the title somewhere, it counts. I'm also going to do a bonus read, which is a book with a number in the title, or a book with numbers 1 through 9 in it. So, you know, a book per number. The next challenge I'm going to do this year is the Read Harder Challenge by the Book Riot. You can actually find this, print this off. That's what I did. And that challenge has things like a translated book written by or translated by a woman, a book of manga, or manga, however you pronounce it, a book by an AOC set in or about outer space, a humor book, an alternative history novel, things like that. So that is some of my challenges that I'm going to do this year personally, as well as I'm going to try to get into some of the you know, like reading challenges that are throughout the year. But yeah, so that's kind of like my goals for 2019 reading. I really do want to read some anthologies. I've been wanting to for a while, however I just never really got a chance and never really got into it. But I have a book outlet order coming that I bought with my Christmas money, that I bought some, so yeah. But yeah, that's my goals kind of this year. Read more anthologies, read more out of my comfort zone. So maybe more like adult books, more contemporary, more romance. I hate romance, but we're going to try. I would like to read more classic novels this year. That would be awesome because there's a lot of classic books that I haven't read yet. And definitely hit my 50 book mark this year. I'm going to try to read a lot more, and I'm going to try to read again out of my comfort zone. So. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you made a similar video of your 2019 reading goals, please leave it in the comments below because I'd love to see it.